you should know that if you talk with accommodative services, they make it relatively confidential. So even if you say, hey, I want you to send this out to all my professors, you can choose whether or not you want your professors to utilize it. So you can let all your professors know. And then if something like this comes up, then like you can say, hey, I really didn't wanna, but like this particular assignment is kind of like setting me back on this. Can I have some help with this because of this specific reason? Like, I totally get it. Like, but I think that if you at least let them know, because not every teacher will automatically push everything back and give you all this help. You have to ask for it, even if you do it. But the thing is that you are able to request it at any time. So it's not just like if you mention it, it makes you in like kitty mode. Like you can totally do it. I understand, like I have trouble memorizing speeches too, but like you know we can do our best. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm sure you can do it, and even if not, I'm sure there's help out there for you, because everything's a lot quicker with the internet, even if you really don't think it is, because I didn't think it was until I started emailing people and got fast responses. So thumbs
Thanks
up.
for saying that, Max, again. And yes,
Thanks, I
if
really
you,
appreciated that.
yeah, and if for any of you, okay, and I think I've said this at from the beginning of the class. Um, as soon as I give you the assignment, right? As soon as I give you assignment, if you have any questions, comments, contact me. You can email me, right? And I will welcome that email. And I think I have had a few email exchanges with some of you. I do my best to reply quickly and address any questions, concerns, comments that you may have. Please do so, okay? I'm not the kind of guy that will not, or professor that will not respond to your comments, questions, and concerns. Be happy to do that. And let's continue then. So I think Jimena, you said you wanted to go first, so let's begin with you. Let me say this, Jimena, we need for everybody to say their, the page first of all, so that we go all to the page to see what was that, what is the play first of all?
Yankee Berman's, excuse me, sorry, Sabrina Berman's Yankee, page 110.
So please go to page 110. Where do you begin?
So I begin with Bill's monologue at the very, very beginning until...
What is your first line?
Sorry?
What is your first line?
Wait, let me organize my thoughts.
Okay.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm trying to get ready too.
I'm ready.
Wait. Let me organize my thoughts. That isn't true either. Your wife believed right from the beginning that I was a Marine, that I came here on a ship. I didn't set her straight. First, because I assumed it didn't matter to her as long as I fixed the roof. And then, when I started a friendship with her, because to tell her about my problem didn't matter. How can I put it? It doesn't matter if my problem is whether to rejoin the Navy or the Marines. Do you see? It doesn't matter if I was a Marine or a private in Vietnam, whether or not I arrived in Puerto Plata on a ship. When I arrived here, it didn't matter. If you understood my problem, why should I be so exact in telling the reasons for it? Do you believe me now? After Vietnam, I spent half a year in the States at my mother's house. I hated it. I came back to a country that didn't want me, that felt ashamed of me, that made fun of me. I realized that to forget Vietnam, I had to get out of there. And I'm done with that.
Next person.
I'll go.
Could I go after that next person
Yes,
that
indeed.
just called in? All right, thank you.
But who was the person who said?
Me.
Okay.
Okay. I'm on 194. And, oh, well, I guess I actually started at the very bottom of 193 to be correct.
What is the title of the play?
It's Evening Walk.
Okay.
Okay. I was just
So your first line is forgive me?
yeah. My first line is the no, I can't forgive you.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll say 1, 2, 3, and you begin. Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay, Megan. 1, 2, 3, action.
No, I can't forgive you. I don't feel like it. I've been forgiving all my life. Do you think I look like God? No. God is a man. I'm a woman. God is old. I'm young. God forced Mary to be unfaithful to Joseph. Not me. I don't get involved with married men. I'm somewhat wild, but I'd never ask the clouds to cry in order to drown out humanity. I'd never let Abraham be unfaithful to Sarah. What do you expect? What does everyone expect? That I was just born to forgive? No, I was born to sin and to never be forgiven. Perfect. Evening walk. I'll start right now. That's it.
Max, it's your turn, right?
Yes,
Was it Max? Okay.
Yes, I had the same monologue.
Excellent.
Not that same one right there. I clipped it, so I'm having trouble finding the page. It was that same one that had the that started with wait. Let me organize my thoughts. Does anyone remember that page? I clipped it, so I don't remember.
It's 110.
110. Okay, so that's page 110. Okay. So, all right, let me turn on my video. One second. Sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, you
Just
guys
wait.
see me? Is the camera working?
Yes, it is. And you are Bill then?
What? No, I accidentally picked this up. See, I picked it up because I was using it to practice because I feel better when I have something in my hands. And
No,
I
no.
just no,
You
that's
didn't
not
you didn't hear my question. So you are Bill. Your character is Bill.
Hello?
Yes. Hello? Hello? I'm here.
You guys can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly well.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Max?
Yeah, I think so.
So who is your character?
My character is Bill.
That's what I was asking. That's all I was
Sorry.
asking. Okay. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, action, and you begin.
All right.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, action.
Wait. Let me organize my thoughts. That's not true either. Your wife believed right from the beginning I was a Marine, that I arrived on a ship and I didn't set her straight. First, because I assumed it didn't matter to her as long as I fixed the roof. And then when I started a friendship with her, because to tell her about my problems didn't matter. How can I put it? It doesn't matter if my problem is whether to rejoin the Navy or the Marines. You see, it doesn't matter whether I was a Marine or I was private in Vietnam, whether or not I arrived in Puerto Vallarta in a ship. When I arrived here, it didn't matter. if you understand my problem, why should I be so exact when telling the reasons for it? You believe me now? After Vietnam, I spent half a year in the States at my mother's house, and I couldn't stand it. I came back to a country that didn't want me, that felt ashamed of me, that made fun of me. I realized that to forget Vietnam, I had to get out of there. Daily on TV, in the newspapers and conversations, was it a fair war or wasn't it? They told us it was moral, but was it moral? How many things did they do that they didn't tell us about? They talk about us, GLS, as if we were foreigners. We were the ones who lost the war. Because do you know what really bothers the gringos? To have lost the war. That's why they neglect us. We lost. They didn't. The most important thing for them is to be winners. Winners, win. I wanted a quiet life without successes or failures. I came to Mexico. I didn't accept the promotion at the embassy. I'm boring you. I'm a dull guy. You sold it to yourself. Who wants to paint a picture of a guy like me? My stories don't interest you. They don't impress you as a hot topic for a novel. I'm a loser. I repeat everything 10 times. I'll leave you alone now. You want to write a novel about a guy who ponders metaphysical questions? I killed the animal in me. I didn't feed him. I turned my back on the struggle. There are no sacrifices left for the animal in me, nor will there ever be. I'm leaving now. I arrived in Puerto Vallarta by bus from Mexico City. Too bad if I were a Marine or a CIA agent, then maybe you'd be interested in doing a composite sketch of me. There you go. That's it.
Okay, and I need, thanks a lot. I need to clarify something, okay, Max?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll share my screen with you and with everybody, of course. Oh.
Kudos for you for remembering the whole thing. I only did part of it.
Max, notice what I wrote right here.
Oh, shoot.
From the start until I realized that to forget Vietnam, I had to get out of there.
Oops. My apologies.
Right. That's what I wanted to be very clear about this, and that's what I wrote it, because otherwise, you know, it would be unfair to give someone so many lines.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I did you put that in the email?
It's here. It's in the forum.
Oh, it was in the forum. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay. Just to make sure that I was trying to be precise. I need to be explicit about this, because it's not only addressing the situation with you, but with your classmates. I did my best. Okay.
I'm sorry. That was my
Cancel
fault.
this. Okay. Just wanted to be explicit.
Okay.
Next person, please.
I'd like to do
Thank you.
mine.
Please give us the page and who are you? Who's your character?
Page 80, Yankee, and I am playing Bill. Just let me turn on my camera here.
Could you give us your first line? What is your first line, Lindsay?
Yeah, I'd chosen a name for him.
What is your first line? Your first line?
Yeah,
First sentence.
yeah, I chosen a name for
I'm
him.
sorry. I'm sorry. Thanks a lot. I'm sorry. I was just listening to you literally. Okay. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
1, 2, 3, action.
Yeah, I chose a name for him. Ruth. I always wanted a sister, understand? I was afraid another boy would steal my mother's love. That's natural. Dr. Spock says so in one of his books. I've read Dr. Spock's books one by one where he explains how this and my other crazy ideas are perfectly normal. Anyway, when I got to the hospital, my mother was in bed. I went over to her and kissed her on the forehead, just like in films. A father whose wife, who has just given birth, kisses her on the forehead. Very much like a little gentleman, I leaned over and kissed her. The room was full of visitors, presents, and flowers. Then the nurse came in with the baby in a small bundle, and she gave him to my mother. How's Ruth, Mommy? Fine, Bill. Looks just like his father, somebody said behind my back. What? His father? His father? I jumped out the window, ran through the dark garden. It was nighttime. It was nighttime. It was drizzling the tears. And that is my monologue. I'm curious, did I skip any lines?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And if you did, it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I didn't notice you skipping any lines. Yeah. Okay, next person.
All right, I guess that's me.
Thanks. Please give us the page number.
Hold up. Turn this camera on. So the page number is 191. The play is Evening Walk, and I'm playing Gertrude.
91.
All right.
Okay, so it's the beginning monologue. The beginning
Yes,
monologue.
sir.
Oh, okay. Okay, with the picture in the background,
Mm-hmm.
somebody bleeding themselves out. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, action.
At a distance, the sun was setting, dusk was falling, the sea reddening with death before its phases. Of the fishermen who could still see, far away the bodies of the shipwreck, and floating on the waters calm their fury, and of those who survived the terrible disaster, recall the last words that were screamed. Hang the windows! Chop the floor! Chop the heads off the head! Everyone must be decapacitated. Everyone must be decapacitated. Damn, shit. Everyone must be decapacitated. Slavery was reaching Earth. Good on each other, yes.
Thanks. So who is still do it?
Or whoever.
Okay, Jillian. Okay.
Go ahead, Lily.
Do you want to go, Kaylee?
You can go first.
Okay. So mine is the altarpiece of Yumbel, and the page is 68. And I am Mother 1.
Okay, so that's the monologue before the play ends.
Correct.
Next comes the climax, and then the resolution with the names, when the names are being said to the audience. Yeah, it's a very important monologue. 1, 2, 3, action.
Wait, did you say to start? I didn't hear you.
1, 2, 3, action.
Son, they want to tear you to pieces, denying you life without giving you death. And the judges write calmly, add it to his file. Take care of it. File it, forget it. Because what's most important, because what people think it's what's most important is that petitions merely get Can I start again? Hold on. I'm just freaking myself out a bit too much. I know my lines, but I just
No problem, yeah.
Okay, I just want to start again. Hold on.
Yeah, whenever you want to. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Son, they want to tear you to pieces, denying you life without giving you death. And the judges write calmly, add it to his file. Take care of it. File it, forget it. Because what people think what's most important is that petitions merely get reviewed, that appeals be used until I'm so sorry. Hold on. Can Kaylee, you go first? I'm just gonna I'm freaking myself out too much.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, hold on. I'll come back. I just want to take like a breather.
Advice. Okay, advice. If you forget a line, just go to the next one. It doesn't matter. Okay. Just go to the next one. Keep the monologue just going. It doesn't matter. You have the right to hesitate. It's your right. Okay, it's no problem. And you have a right to skip a line as well.
Okay.
Feel free to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, because we are supporting you. That's all. So what is, Kaylee, what is your page number and who are you?
My page number is 45, scene V. Martha.
Okay, 46. Page 41, page number?
45, sorry.
45?
Mm-hmm.
So the beginning, okay.
And I start after midnight.
Okay. Yes, after midnight, I think of you, Federico.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, action.
After midnight, I think of you, Federico. But it's not only that thinking. I pick up threads of memory, and then you're there. Can I start one more time? Sorry. Can I restart?
Okay, Jimena?
I just messed up really quick.
Yeah, just a sec. Yeah, Jimena, are you there?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to do, if you want to, okay? Not going to force you. Are you at page 45?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's do this. Say, Kelly, you are forgetting a word. Jimena mentioned it to you.
Okay.
Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. Here we go. Because that we call a prompter, right? In theater.
Yes.
So one becomes a prompter because you kind of whisper in the actor's ear, you know, oh, this is the line, and you say the word, and the show goes on, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Should I start?
Yeah, go ahead and start again.
Okay. After midnight, I think of you, Federico. But it's not only that, thinking. I pick up the threads of memory, and then you're there, your presence, once again envelopes me, as if you never died. Perhaps because it's an illusion, the bond between us so strong. Even though you're living with death, you learn to love life. One's words pass from mouth to mouth, from cell to cell, and escape out of prison, through long and secret roads until they reach our people. Nothing is lost, neither the great gestures nor the small sacrifices. And now let me tell you that I passed the test. I'm talking about the dark tunnel. Marta, I succeeded. I survived. That's it.
That's it. Mhm.
Thank you.
Jaylene.
Yes.
Professor, did you want me to do the same thing for everyone?
Jaylene, is that okay with you?
Yeah, if I ever like stutter on a word and just because if I like see the word or if I hear it, I'll get it. It's just like the in the moment type thing when you
Yeah.
get nervous.
Okay, as long as you're okay with it, I'm good with it too.
Yeah, no, I'm totally fine with it. If anything, I appreciate it.
Okay. What's the page number again, really quick?
68.
Okay, perfect.
Whenever you want to start, please start.
Son, they want to deny you. They want to tear you to
Hear
pieces,
you.
denying you life without giving you death. And the judges write calmly,
Add it to his
add it
file.
to his file. Take care of it. File it, forget it. Because for some people, what's most important is that petitions rarely go through the legal procedures, that appeals be used up even if life runs out earlier. Mother, I feel like dying at every moment. My victory is remaining in silent, in fainting, the moment I can rest. I struggle with the staunch decision in not speaking. But I want to assure you that I have not changed. After all, our hearts get tired, and there is a lack of, of air, a lot of thirst, and even more hunger. But do not let them kill your soul. Okay, that's it.
Hmm. Kels, you're the last person, I think. Anybody else? I think it's Kels.
I think
Hey,
it's
man.
me and Jorge.
Oh, where's Jorge? Oh, Jorge, now I see you. Okay.
I guess I can go. Hold on. Let me fix the lighting in here quick.
Yep.
I actually have props for mine. So I'm Alberto from Yankee. The page is 115.
115. Ah, he gets very philosophical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of action is happening in this one.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're ready.
So I'll say 1, 2, 3 action and you begin. As simple as that.
Okay.
1, 2, 3 action.
The intellect. It dissolves all it reaches, as does the air with words, even if necessary to speak. To listen to oneself, to reckon with oneself, to be heard, to be recognized. Of course, that's it. He would have had to tell someone what he is thinking, not the sea. The sea doesn't stop to listen. Do you understand? Okay. I've untangled myself. Your coffee is ready. Rosa, 2 teaspoons of sugar. I'll have to write it now. I'll leave it on you. When you come out of the bedroom, drink it. I'll leave it here on my desk. Rosa, did you go back to sleep? Rosa, sweetheart. You left me talking to myself. Shit. Bitch. It burns me up to talk to myself. It burns me up to have my words disappear into thin air. Are you listening, Rosa? Bitch. And that's it.
You've said enough. There you go.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Mm-hmm. And Jorge is the last one. Where is Jorge?
I'm here.
Page number.
I have page 80 on Yankee, doing bell.
Mm-hmm. So what is your first line, your first sentence?
Yeah, I'm choosing a name for him.
Okay, I chosen a name for him.
Very big paragraph.
Okay. So Jorge. It's good to see your face, Jorge.
Thanks.
Now I'm remembering, and I would like to say that I would appreciate if you all could post, pictures. Because I'm usually looking at names. It's kind of awkward, so awkward, to be looking at just names and not faces. So you would do me a great favor if you could. Do you all know how to just go to the setup section of Zoom and then find the slot where you place your pictures? Are you acquainted? It's just, you need to go to the setup and then, find the spot for your picture and place one in there. That would be great. If, at least we are less, in the class. That makes it more conversational, and I'm, constantly asking you questions and asking you to interact with us. But if you find a picture of yourself, I'm sure you can, take one. If not, okay, Jorge, so I'm ready. I'll go and say 1, 2, 3, action.
Yeah, I was choosing a name for him, Ruth. I wanted a sister, understand? I was afraid a boy would steal my mother's love. That's natural, Dr. Spool says on his books. I've read Dr. Spool books one by one, explaining how this and my other crazy ideas are perfectly normal. Anyway, when I got to the hospital, my mother was in bed. I went to her and kissed her on the forehead, just like in films. A father whose wife has just given birth kisses her in the forehead.
very much like a little gentleman. I leaned over and kissed her. The room was filled with visitors, presents, and flowers. The nurse came in with the baby, a small bundle, and she gave him to my mother. How's the how's Ruth, mommy? Fine, Bill. Looks exactly like his father. Somebody said behind my back. What? His father? His father? I jumped out of the window. I ran to the dark garden. It was nighttime. It was drizzling the tears. And done.
Thanks. Okay, so I will be sending you your grades on the presentation over email, right? I will be emailing you all. Follow the criteria that I just showed you at the beginning of the class. So I want to switch over to the next topic, which is All Yours, right? By Claudia Piñeiro. So I went, and this is my guideline somehow. I have a few things to say, and this will be my example number 2. I do have the 2 questions here to begin with. The first question is, what is the importance of Inés's comments to the forensic book in chapter 6? So in chapter 6, what is the importance of those comments that we see that Inés, she wrote, like on the sides of the pages? And number 2, what kind of alibi does Inés concoct or makes? Alibi. What kind of alibi does Inés concoct or makes? I have a question. Shamani, what is the meaning of the word alibi? What does it mean, alibi?
Basically, what alibi means is to kind of speak on your behalf of like, God forbid, law enforcement like gets on top of you. So like, let's say you did something that was a crime. Like, let's say like you committed a robbery, whatever like that, and you're like a primary suspect. An alibi pretty much lies on your behalf to make sure that you out of that. Well, probably make sure that you're out of the scenario.
Yes. So you somehow you present the officer with a reason for not having committed whatever they may be accusing you of, right? Alibi. Okay, so to begin with, I will give you an overview of the chapters, and then I will go in more detail about each chapter. I'm suggesting you proceed the same way. My pages today are from 19 until 31. 19 until page 31 in the book. So I have 3 chapters, chapter 5, chapter 6, and chapter 7. In chapter 5, we again hear the voice of the narrator, and the narrator is Inés, the wife in this case. She's waiting for Ernesto, who is driving from the Palermo woods back home. And one thing that I thought was interesting at the end of the chapter was that she mentions she made a cache inside the garage. So a little, compartment where she hides the stuff, cache, okay? That will become relevant once I start explaining what happens throughout the chapter. Chapter 6. This is a very kind of weird, if you will, chapter, okay? A different chapter. Because in here, we only have a police report of a book that was found in the house of this couple with annotations that Inés was making as she was reading the segment of the book, okay? So that's chapter number 6. Chapter 7, Inés goes back in the past to refer to her past and how she became pregnant. So this is interesting because this is the second time in which the book mentions pregnancy, right? And she wakes up in the morning after the night of the accident, right, that took place. And she goes to the kitchen, and there is Ernesto, her husband, and Lali or Laura, her daughter. And she's wondering, is there an alibi for Ernesto? What is the alibi? What is the alibi for Ernesto? Is there one? Okay, so now I'll go over the chapters in more detail, okay? Chapter 5. So that's page, and here I would ask, the classmates to go to the page. That's page 19 in the book. It says, well, first of all, she's wondering if Ernesto is kind of, horrific at the beginning, because she's wondering whether Ernesto threw the corpse of Alicia to the lake at the Palermo Woods. Did he do it or not? She's saying to herself, okay? I wonder if perhaps he had decided to drag the body down to the lake so that he could throw it in, okay? That's what she's picturing in her mind. To dispose of the corpse, right? Like in a good crime novel, we need a corpse. Then on next page 20, she's wondering about how will somebody, herself, her husband, describe the situation, because was this an accident or was he thinking about killing Alicia? Okay, and she comes up with this technical explanation using one word: manslaughter. Okay, manslaughter. And according to what I found, manslaughter means that when somebody died, right? This was done without premeditation, which means that if you go to the court, right, and this is spoken as a manslaughter, then I guess your sentence will not be as drastic as if you premeditated the killing of someone, okay? So, of course, from the beginning of the novel, this is one of the major things, right? Killing someone, and then husband, wife, daughter. As you know, the daughter has no idea as to what is being going on, but at the same time, husband and wife, at least the guy knows, Ernesto, what took place, right? But he doesn't know yet that she, Inés, knows as well, that she was witnessing the situation, right? And here I'm doing something that I'm asking you to do, which is to connect the chapters that I'm talking about with the previous chapters or sections to make sense out of the situation, right? Okay. So she found that description because she's concerned about saving her husband, right? And then she goes to the garage and this is the reason why she goes down. She goes because down to the garage because she needs to replace a broken windshield wiper, okay? And she starts looking around, and that's page 21. And as she's doing that, she finds more letters from true love in a box on page 21. Okay. Then she says to herself, I should be searching the entire house. Okay. And so she goes anywhere and everywhere looking for something that may, again, be a proof that her husband was cheating on her with someone else, right? She searches the entire house and finds a wallet photograph impressed with the lipstick of this woman, this other woman, page 22. All I found was a wallet photograph of Ernesto impressed with true love's lipstick marks inside a box of condoms. Okay. So she's becoming like a detective, finding, proof, traces of what has been going on. Then she places the letters and photo inside the cache in the garage. Okay, in the cache, she had money. Okay, it was like a safe for her, storage of money, hiding the money just in case, I guess, something was to happen. It was her own money. She can use it, but now she's putting in there the proof that Ernesto has been has gotten a love affair, with someone else. So the chapter ends with this. She needs to be really quick in thinking about, this is what she thinks. She needs to be really quick in thinking ahead of anybody else as to how to explain everything about this situation that took place. Okay, this death. And she ends by saying, I was going to have to think for both of us, both meaning Ernesto, her husband, and herself. Okay, she's at the helm, right, of the ship, because the ship should not sink. Okay, should not at all. Chapter 6. This is the chapter I said it was kind of weird because it's actually a report. And this is interesting to me because notice the beginning of the chapter. Material photocopied from a Spanish book on forensic practice found on the bedside table of Inés Pereira. This is, guys, the first time we know about her name and her last name. Here you have it on page 25. And in addition, how come we have a report of the police? This is not, part of the narration. We don't have the characters here, okay? Well, this is my interpretation. The case, the murder case, and everything else, whatever took place in the novel has been solved. This is coming from the future. And Piñeiro, the writer, is telling us there was a police, team working on the case, and they must most likely have solved the case. Okay. Now, the book itself is about forensics, and forensics is a study of, of a crime scene, I guess, utilizing special techniques. I was wondering if one of you was studying criminal justice or something like that. Anybody interested in that?
I did some forensics and criminal justice last semester.
Oh, okay. So did they teach you any techniques on how they proceed? How do they proceed to find traces?
Oh yeah, of how they collected evidence and connected the crime to the person. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Yeah, I noticed, so I read one of the forensic reports, the one about the soil.
Yeah.
The collecting of the soil. We actually did a lab where we tested different soils to see which one was at the crime scene that the teacher made up for us.
Yes.
So I know how they tested it to see if if it was from the same place.
Okay.
One was on the suspect and they tested it against the crime scene to see if the suspect was at the scene.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I know a lot about like the different tests that go into it, and a lot about like the justice system for criminal justice.
Okay. Okay. I guess I was also thinking about all the shows that they have on TV or they have had like for 10 years. And they show a lot of, I guess, forensic action. Trying to find traces of who committed the crime, whatever. So you probably have seen it on TV a lot as well. You're mentioning the first thing I wanted to mention about forensics in here. Collecting soil, conduct a thorough examination of the scene, the crime scene, inspect vehicles, which is very important for the novel. Inés has been talking a lot about the cars, right? Ernesto's and her own car, getting rid of the mud, getting rid of any trace of the soil, precisely, from the Palermo woods. Then forensics have to put together the pieces. It's like a puzzle, right? And there are lots of pieces that have to fit in, so that's part of the goal, right? And then even make plaster casts of the trucks to identify, I guess, the vehicles, the cars, and then analyze, on page 26, analyze shoe prints. To even, I guess they can even identify the way one walks by doing that, analyzing the shoe prints.
Yeah, sometimes they take like measurements of the shoe print, and then like they mentioned in the report, they can do a cast of the footprint, and it can show like the certain pressures of the foot in the print, and like they can also identify what kind of shoe it is, what size shoe it is, and if it's male or female, you know, all that jazz.
Yeah. A lot of jazz into the situation, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's just totally incredible what they can do. Now, notice that Piñeiro, the writer, must have consulted books. And she's writing lots of crime novels. So she becomes an expert before writing a book. She does all the needed research. And then, you know, she incorporates that into what she's writing. That's what Piñeiro does. Now, what was most interesting to me were the comments by, if you take a look at the page 25, the first comment by Inés is, wash clothes ASAP, as soon as possible, okay? So she reads, you know, collecting soil, that's what the guys will do, the police officers, well, or the detectives, well, then I need to wash the clothes right away. That's what the book is saying to us. And then next comment by Inés, clean both cars top to bottom. Makes sense, it makes sense, given what we have been, you know, talking here with Kels. And I think there are two more comments. And in these two, she says, irrelevant, given the quantity of rain, and then interesting, but also irrelevant in terms of shoe prints that need to be analyzed. So what we have in here is evidence that incriminates, right, Inés. And that's what I'm saying. I'm guessing the case was solved. Now, the thing for us is that we have not solved the case ourselves. And I was thinking also that as we progress reading the book, we become witnesses to the entire situation. I don't know if there's going to be one more crime here in this novel. There might be more, right? And you, the reader, will become the witness. Nobody else is looking into the situation, right? You might get surprised, shocked, and horrified. And this is taking us, you know, on a ride until we finish the whole novel. So number 7, page 27. Inés sees Ernesto in Lila's bathroom at night. Notice how little time is passing, okay? We are at the same night, beginning page 27, the same night when Alicia died. She remembers how Ernesto was not sure about marriage and having children, and this is important, okay? So Ernesto wasn't sure about us getting married. He thought it was too soon. Too soon, Mommy said. And then we have advice that Inez's mother is giving to her, right away, about quickly, act quickly, don't waste time, okay? Then about having children, this is on page 27, still on 27. Well, it begins there, but when Ernesto knows that Inez is pregnant, he became withdrawn, it says on page 28, barely speaking, and then he started not talking to her. And then she says, Ernesto, one day she comes up to Ernesto and says, Ernesto, you're not thinking that I should get rid of it, are you? And when she asks the question, she goes and says to us, those words did the trick. What trick? Of convincing Ernesto. Ernesto no longer can say and go and say, we shouldn't. You need to get rid of it, or something like that, which takes us to one important topic for Piñeiro: abortion, right? The right to decide, and so on and so forth. It's in here as well. Just in passing, right? Just in passing. But notice that it's not that in passing, the topic, because if you remember from the previous presentation, Laura seems to be pregnant. So what is she going to do? The question lingers, right? Okay. Then it's still at night. Well, she wakes up in the morning, page 28, and she realizes Ernesto's side of the bed is clean, no wrinkles. He did not sleep on the bed, okay? It makes sense. The guy must be, thinking about what took place. She's going in his mind through the scenes and who knows what. And she decides on page 29, she says, I should be like a good wife, a balm, B-A-L-M, B-A-L-M, balm for him, okay, for my husband. Page 29, Ernesto, she says, needs to stick to a routine. What is he doing? When she sees him in the kitchen, he's doing something, not reading the newspaper as he usually does. What is this guy doing? He needs to keep going as usual instead of deviating from what we do every day. Then page 29, she makes up an alibi, okay? And this is important on page 29. She goes and says, Ernesto, it must have been sorted out while you were on the way there. And that's why you came straight back to the house, right? Because half an hour later, you were home again. So Ernesto only sorted out what? Remember, Ernesto got a phone call, right? So she's saying, Ernesto, you went out and you came back in half an hour to the house. That's what she's saying. I heard your car coming in. It was 10:30 at the latest. She's detailing the time. And you didn't go out after that, okay? You went off at 10 o'clock and you were back by 10:30. That's not enough time to go anywhere or do anything. And I'll repeat that sentence. That's not enough time to go anywhere or do anything. You understand me, right? Ernesto doesn't reply. I think he says, might do something like this, but he doesn't verbalize an answer. So what is going on? She is making up this justification, right? Not even saying it explicitly. Hey, Ernesto, we need to work together, right? And we need to come up with an alibi for this situation. We're both in the same boat. Let's help each other. No, she goes and says the alibi. So notice, Ernesto only has to say yes, and she doesn't even have to come out and say, Ernesto, I'm making this up for you, for your own protection and safety. So what do we have here? Complicity. She's becoming an accomplice. She's relying on secrecy and secrets, right? Because what? A good wife needs to protect her man. That's your duty if you're a wife, right? That's what Piñero, I think, is telling me as I read the novel. That's what Piñero is telling me, okay, suggesting to me. It's not explicit, but she's telling me, suggesting me that, right, in this relationship. And then the chapter will end when she compares her intelligence, Inés's, to her daughter's, okay? And I thought this is an important moment too, page 31. She says that, Laura's intelligence, page 31, is so definite, so dogmatic. Does anybody know what dogmatic may mean? Dogmatic, dogmatic. That would be a belief that is clear cut, okay? No doubts. So if she thinks this is true, Laura, that's true. If she thinks this is wrong, that's wrong, okay? There are not ambiguities, no ambiguities. But what is the intelligence of Inés like? My intelligence is the lower profile kind. Intelligence from the sidelines. Yes, because a good wife needs to be thinking from the sidelines and not be, front center. Okay? If you have been taught properly, your intelligence as a wife should be happening, from the sidelines. With no fanfare, no full marks or gold stars. It is a practical intelligence, the kind that is useful from day to day, the kind that could save her dear daddy from a life behind bars. So my interpretation, not a description, right? My interpretation is that she's conniving. She's trying to, she's always fabricating stuff here so that she can preserve what? Preserve what? Social status, property, house, property. Okay, guys, don't forget property, economics, my house, what I own, because I have this husband. And one more thing, very important for me, propriety, propriety, not property, propriety, okay? What do I mean by that? Quote unquote, good manners, okay? So social status, property, propriety. Nobody should know what is going on to my family, okay? I think I've said a lot and I don't want to exceed more the time, but that was my second example to you. Please use what I'm doing for your own presentations, okay? If you have a question about the pages that you'll be some of you will be presenting next week, please email me, okay? Email me with your questions to help you out. Thanks. I'll see you next time. Have a nice day and great weekend.
Thank you, Professor. I just wanted to say really quick that I actually just went ahead and purchased the book that we're reading on ebook, just to let you know that I have it. And who was it that, Lindsay, was it you that didn't have it either, or Jaylene? I don't remember, but either way, I just purchased that off of Google Play Books. It's like $9.99. I mean, I know it's a little bit more expensive than if you were to order the book online, but it's instantaneous, and especially for the people who are presenting first, yeah, we kind of need it. So
thank you for saying that. Okay, fantastic. See you all next week then. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good day, Professor.
Bye, Kels. Take care.
Yeah.
Have fun. We need it, right?